A pair of Minnesota riders have taken control of Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. Ryan Dungey in the 450 class and Jeremy Martin in the 250 division. But that just means they got targets on their back. Fans are here to see if someone can knock them off today.
The track at High Point is an American landmark with a distinctly European influence. The many off-camber turns on the track are the mark of a visiting European race team back in 1977. The big jumps and the dawn-to-dusk tailgating from the fans are American in every way. It is on this sacred ground that Minnesota native Jeremy Martin and French rider Marvin Musquin will resume their duel for the 250 championship.
Marvin Musquin wins again. Jeremy Martin, checkered flag is out. Jeremy Martin wins.
250 Moto 2 is headed to the start gate.
Just south of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, it's round 5 of the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship, sanctioned by AMA Pro Racing, the UPMC Sports Medicine High Point National. It's a very historic venue for motocross. Jason Wygant, Grant Langston here on hand to call the action. Georgia Lindsay will be on the racetrack all day long, giving you the scoops. We've already completed our first set of motos today. We're going to have our 250 class about to take off. Why do we have 2 motos? Well, we'll show you the format. It's 2 motos in each class, and we total up the results from each to determine an overall winner. 250s will race now. The 450s will race in the next hour. Jeremy Martin was the favorite coming into this race, but we'll show you what happened about an hour ago on moto number 1. Not a great moto for him. Points shaking up here at High Point. Great start for the number 25, the orange KTM of Marvin Musquin. See in the middle of the pack. He's going to slice to the lead. Musquin, the Frenchman, so good on this very rutted and rough racetrack. You give him the early lead, he's going to be hard to stop.
Yeah, he ran away with this one, but
there's Martin.
Yeah, he had his work cut out. Gets up the inside of Savachi there. Took him a little while to get going this motor, but once he did, using those outsides anywhere he could go, started coming through. Unfortunately, not quite enough to get on the box.
Right, his brother, Alex Martin, here on the blue number 31. Here he's going to make a move on RJ Hampshire to take over 3rd. Musquin was in the lead, Adam Cianciarulo 2nd. Here's Musquin cruising, wheeling to the checkered flag. Cianciarulo 2nd, Alex Martin 3rd, holds off his brother Jeremy Martin. And the big difference there is we do pay points in each individual moto. Musquin's 1st and Martin's 4th is enough to actually make Musquin the new points leader heading into this 2nd moto. So we'll see if Jeremy Martin can get some revenge here. Let's reintroduce Georgia Lindsay, the 3rd member of our team. She's at the GoPro starting gate.
Marvin Musquin, huge congratulations on that first moto. Now you're having to stay underneath an umbrella because it is warming up quite a bit. Tell me about your living situations and how you train for this heat.
Yeah, I live part-time in Florida now. It makes it better for the traveling, going to the races, and training in the humidity and the heat. So it's been hot in Florida, so we've done a couple motos where it was humid and hot. So yeah, and over the past few years here, I've been racing in the US. I'm getting used to that humidity and hot. So yeah, we have no choice. We gotta suffer and try our best. So. It's cloudy right now, but every time the sun comes out, it's actually really warm. So yeah. Anyway, it's going to be a good moto.
Well, best of luck. Thank you, Marvin. On the other side of me, we've got our 3rd place overall, Alex Martin. Alex, first off, again, huge congratulations. You got a much better gate pick here too, being in 3rd place. First off, how important is the start?
Oh, it's huge, for sure. I had a lot of work to do in the first moto. I think I started around 6th or 7th and just had a lot of passes to do. And everyone's fresh right off the bat, so it makes it even harder. For sure, I'm glad I'm lined up farther inside, and I think it's going to hopefully help me out.
Did you do anything in between motos to make sure you were hydrated or to cool down?
Yeah, drank lots of water. Just tried to get some electrolytes in me and recover it. We only have about 45 minutes, so I tried to make the best of it.
Honestly, I don't know if the Martin brothers need help recovering. Those guys are as strong as they come, and they're going to try to use that in this second moto coming up next. Big crowd able to witness this High Point track firsthand, but if you're just watching on TV today, we'll show you what it's like with the Kawasaki track map.
Well, drop that gate, go up the hill. Long, sweeping first left-hander. Hopefully you get that motorsport.com whole shot award. Hard braking zone down here into that tight right. Over the tunnel jump. Got to get through these rollers as best as possible off the Lucas Oil drop-off. Sharp right into the sharp left, which is new now. Triple step up the hill. Get on the brakes hard into this 180, then back down the hill. These ruts down here are getting really deep. Guys are going to have to start finding some new lines. This section, pretty tight and twisty. Then you start heading towards the part of the track where you got all the fans on the hillsides. Make this left, carry your momentum, because there's a massive quad. We call it the Buddha. They go all the way over the section now, the way they've designed it. Down the hill to the sweeping left. Then another right, left. Then they'll go back up the hill again. A lot of elevation here at this track, Mount Morris. Sharp right, down the hill, back through the gearbox, shifting up, hard on the throttle. Scrub some of these jumps. Then into the sharp left-hander. We've seen Dungy and the 450 guys doubling this. Will we see the 250s doing it? Back up the hill, use all that horsepower you got, sweep through this left-hander, over the Lucas Oil finish line jump, down Bradshaw Boulevard, past the Fram Mechanics area, then another left, drop down the hill, right, back up the hill, over that triple step up, and then loops back onto the start straight.
Two teammates tied for the Deltran Battery Tender RC Hard Charger Award from last week at Muddy Creek. They each passed the same amount of riders, Matt Bishalia and Jordan Smith. So there's one trophy. I guess they can just bring it back to the Geico Honda rig and just leave it on display between the two of them. I'm sure they'll make a second one so they can bring it home. We'll show you what it's like to race here on board at High Point. We got the GoPro Hero 4 camera. And Adam Cincerillo going to take you through the start of our first moto earlier today.
I love this view. Watch this. See Muskin, that's how you get the whole shot. But Cincerillo sneaks up the inside, able to, you hear that roost. Oh, almost clips the back of Hampshire. Comes out with a pretty respectable start. Squeezing the gap there. Gets a top 5 start. That shows you how much he was able to help him overall. Through these rollers, look at the line selection early on. Off this drop-off, make the right. In this all-new section, you hear the riders raving about the track changes. Oh, and back up the triple step-up.
Couldn't even get over the top of that little error. Marvin Muscan has had a perfect afternoon at the races so far. He was your Bud Light fastest qualifier this morning. Won the first moto earlier this afternoon. We already showed you the highlights of that. But you know what? He had all that going for him last week at Muddy Creek, and in this second moto, he had trouble. So he's trying to prevent that from happening this time. What does he need to do to polish this off and win it?
KTM keys to the moto, changing conditions, sunshine, rain, we've had it all. The track keeps changing, smooth through the ruts, long, deep ruts around this track. And can Adam Cincerillo get his first win? He's been knocking on the door, these youngsters really stepping it up, wanting to beat that duo of Martin and Muskin.
Well, Cincerillo got half of it done. He did beat Jeremy Martin in the first moto. Jeremy only finishing 4th, so your series points leader has actually been knocked back just a bit. Muscan technically has a 1-point lead going into this moto, but we won't really rack it up until the complete race day is done. And if Cincerillo were to win this second moto, he would win the overall. The second moto is the tiebreaker, but taking down Muscan is certainly going to be difficult. Got the Fly Racing 30-second card up. When that turns sideways, the riders' full focus will go to the starting gate, and you'll hear them put the bikes into gear, and the RPMs will come up, and then it's really just a dump of the clutch away from racing. 30 minutes and 2 laps here at High Point, and really one of the most unique starts in this sport with that long, wide first turn.
Yeah. So when they turn that card sideways, they pick up the RPM between 5 and 10 seconds. That gate will drop. Here we go.
Osborne getting the inside of the Rockstar KTM. Does he get it? Yes. Motorsport.com whole shot for him. There's Muscan on his outside. And another good start for Bishalia. who's in third. Musquin leaping into the second place spot.
Another good start from Marvin. Put himself in a great position. But what a start from Osborne. He actually was rolling just a little bit
I
in
saw
time.
that.
Timed that gate drop perfect. Then snuck up the inside. Sometimes it's good to be good, and other times it's better to be a little bit lucky. But he timed that to perfection.
You're taking your chances rolling toward the gate. You get stuck in it, and then you're starting last. So it paid off for Osborne this time. Here comes Musquin, though. Got it inside of this corner. Osborne able to beat him to it. Also a good start for Joey Savacci. See the green Kawasaki back there in fourth. But Osborne leading them around. What a day so far for this Husqvarna team. Had the two 450 riders do well in our first moto a little earlier today. Now leading in the 250 class. There's Savacci on 37, and the 68 of Christian Craig fighting for it, fourth and fifth.
Question is, where is Jeremy Martin, and where is our runner-up from the first moto, Adam Cincerello? Not a great start from either one of those two. But if they can do what Ryan Dungey did in his first moto and dissect this field quickly, you've got to do that, otherwise you lose so much valuable time in these opening laps.
Yeah, we did see our 450 moto about an hour ago. Dungey came from about 7th to 1st, so it can be done on this track. Musquin's just trying to go from 2nd to 1st, putting a little bit of heat on your leader, Zach Osborne. Good to see Osborne getting the starts today. He had two terrible ones last week at Muddy Creek. He had no chance of fighting for the win. Today he's back with a vengeance, and the 16 leads him around. Osborne out of Virginia, raced here a bunch as a kid, but he's out in Colorado these days to do his training at altitude at Eli and John Tomac's ranch in Durango. Oof. Oh, Osborne clips the jump almost over the bars. Musquin says, thank you, I got the lead.
And remember I said earlier, as that gets more difficult to jump, sometimes you're better off scrubbing, going double, single, and keeping it tight on the inside. Saw Osborne cased it, kicked the rear end up. He wasn't able to turn until he got all the way to the outside. That opened the door for Marvin. You open the door for Marvin Musquin. He's going to say thank you.
Especially on a day like today, Musquin has been on the gas every time he's been on the bike.
Or maybe he said merci.
Oh,
merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup. Okay. Jeremy Martin, where are ye? This is outside the top 10 now.
There's Cincerello.
Cincerello just snuck by the inside, and there he is. That's 18th, I believe, from Martin. So he is in the middle of this 40-rider pack and losing points in bunches. So now he's going to have to make passes in bunches.
This is going to be a long moto for Jeremy Martin. He's got to pass a lot of fast guys, and we saw in the first moto not quite the dominant Jeremy Martin we've seen at some events.
Oh! Almost comes together with Jackson Richardson on the 57, an Australian. Going to be used a long way around.
And that's the problem when you're buried in the pack. These sort of things, you know, the elements just get exaggerated. What can go wrong? Because now you're trying to make passes, be aggressive, not make mistakes. So much going on in these opening laps. But he's got a lot of work to do to get to the front. But you got to remember, he is a champion, a fighter, and he'll fight all the way to the checkered flag.
He's going to have to, because Musquin going to try to score maximum points by winning this race. And Martin, who already has lost a points lead to him already, is way back in this one. Savacci on the Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki, 37, right behind Osborne on the Rockstar Husqvarna. Going to jump downhill. Savacci's had a couple of rough weekends in a row. This will be a nice bounce back for him, trying to get into the runner-up spot. Behind him, you've got Bisceglia, Craig, Alex Martin, Nelson, Smith, Hampshire, McElrath, rounding out your early top 10. Cincerello, by the way, man, he is outside the top 15 as well, or 14th. He just got into it. So, first moto runner-up way back, former series points leader way back. This is the chance for these guys to get up on that podium, go in the top 3, get to thank their sponsors on the stage. That's a big difference in finishing outside the top 3.
Marvin not getting away right now. Osborne running a great pace, and Savacci having a great start to this moto. He's been solid all season long, and one of the keys is there's so much depth in this class. If you get a bad start, you could get 13th overall. You get a good start, you could be 3rd. I mean, there's literally 10, 12 guys that could be on the podium on any given weekend. And that's why you hear them say on the start line, starts are so key, starts are so key. We always beat it like a dead horse, but it really is. Makes your life so much easier being out front. Because as we're going to see from Jeremy Martin, this is going to be a long moto. He's got to keep us cool, not panic, and get as many points out of this as possible. When it's just not your day, it's not your day. And right now, it seems to be Musquin's day. And for Jeremy, he's just made it a little harder on himself with that bad start.
And a little bit further back, you got the 126 Jordan Smith, the 28 of Nelson, and another Geico Honda rider, Hampshire, all gunning for each other. This is for 7th, 8th, and 9th, and McElrath is 10th. So 2 Geico Hondas, 2 Lucas Oil Troy Lee KTMs. Smith has been fast lately. The rookie, though, has not gotten good starts. He's had some first-lap crashes as well. Rough go of it in the first moto outside the top 10.
Well, last week, we talked about Marvin's great comeback when he went down in that second. Oh!
Osborne! Oh, sorry, McElrath came together with, that would have been Hampshire, right?
It's one of the Geico Honda riders.
I think it's Hampshire. They were in that dogfight. We mentioned the 2 Troy Lee KTM riders, the 2 Geico Honda riders. Man, I hope that he's okay.
I think he's okay. I think that was a pretty high-speed crash, but he looked to be getting up slowly. Their lines just came together. Unfortunately, just one of those racing incidents, 2 guys fighting for the same piece of real estate.
Yeah, that's Hampshire there. He is at least back up, shaken, but not stirred.
Let's have a look at the replay from behind. You see the scrub, but Nelson is there. They touch in mid-air. Oh!
McElrath.
Oh, sorry, McElrath. Yeah.
They scrubbed together and scrubbed in the air. Ouch. RJ, okay, at least he was jumping uphill, so it wasn't a giant bail-off, but he still hits the ground pretty hard.
McElrath almost went down himself there, but Hampshire, that was pretty spectacular, but glad to see he's up and walking. You can see that bike is quite, looks used and abused right there. Look how twisted it is. He can't even ride in a straight line. He's going to have to go in the mechanics area.
Handguards are like the foot bars that the freestyle riders used to hook their boots on.
That's not the issue. It's when the whole front end's so twisted you can't even go in a straight line. And with these ruts, it would be an absolute nightmare on a twisted bike.
Time for the alignment job, which in a motocross is about as high-tech as the mechanic kicking the front wheel until the handlebars seem to be reasonably straight. Here is Musquin pulling away, but like you said, not massively. About a second and a half over Osborne, who's still in a battle with Savacci for 2nd and 3rd. Bisceglia, Craig, Alex Martin, your top 6. Osborne's still right there.
Yeah, he's not letting Musquin go, and that's a good sign for him. Because if he can keep him in sight, it helps him, you know, just have something to focus on. And just, I don't know, it just seems to help a guy's concentration and motivation. Just that 1 or 2% extra to be focused on someone in front of you, especially someone as fast as Marvin Musquin.
And it's early right now, but if you did the overall points, Osborne would be 2nd overall for the day.
Look at Savacci's lap time. A little bit quicker the last time around. Fastest guy on the track. So holding his own. Just a few seconds off the lead.
They just went by Hampshire, who's still circulating after that crash. So Savacci 3rd, Osborne 2nd. They want to keep some pressure on Musquin. 4th with the Xfinity Series Subway Firecracker 250. Right here on NBCSN. Marvin Musquin, the Frenchman, leading the way. Zach Osborne keeping the pressure on him in 2nd.
See those guys stretching it out over that super kicker, as we now call it. These 250s getting 250cc machines, trying to get everything, every ounce of power out of it to clear that quad. And Osborne just not going away.
Georgia, pretty cool scenario here with Zach Osborne. Little help from his friends this weekend.
Yes, as we know, that 450 guy who won the first 5 races, Eli Tomac, he's actually hurt. He had shoulder surgeries on both shoulders. However, he has been at the track with Zach Osborne, who has been staying at his house for the past 2 months. And despite being cast up and everything else, him and his father have been out there giving him his pit bulls and everything like that, to the extent where his father, John Tomac, is at the race with him this weekend. He said, I've got to get that boy on the box this weekend. So, you know, he's got some good support and maybe a good luck charm.
What's worked? 5th in the first moto, that was solid, but 2nd in this one, even better. And still only about 2 seconds behind Musquin, so Osborne just keeps on digging.
And with the mixed up results, it's probably almost guaranteeing him the podium overall finish right now, because we've got a real mix up. Oh, it does. Musquin would get the overall. Osborne would be 2nd if they stayed the way they are, and Savacci would be on the box. That'd be pretty cool to see too.
A little bit of a gap, and now we've got a fight. Bisceglia in 4th, Alex Martin in 5th. This is the best run so far this year for Bisceglia in this number 4 spot. But Amart He has been strong all year. Now, coming into this race, he had 4 straight hard luck motos, but even coming from last in each one of them, he has shown impressive speed. But he's got the entire, it appears, Geico Honda team to deal with. Bisceglia in front of him, and then Craig and Smith behind him, 6th and 7th. Oh, Bisceglia did not stall it. I thought he did. Just came to a stop.
Yeah, he braked a little deep into that turn and the bike got stood up in that rut. Just enough to lose some ground.
So Alex Martin is now around him. Christian Craig is trying to do the same.
I think Craig got him as well.
So Alex on the Cycle Trader Rock River Yamaha. That'll be 4th. Craig still battling with Bisceglia and gets it done. So Craig, now he's 5th. Bisceglia 6th. And Jordan Smith right behind him. 3 teammates on Geico Hondas. Hampshire, the 4th teammate, was right there as well until that crash. And they're in a team battle. Kind of looks like they're out there for a test ride. Go do motos against each other on the stopwatch. I know this team has done that in the past. But this is, they found each other fighting with everyone else. Behind them is Nelson. Jeremy Martin up to 9th. And McElrath 10th. Plessinger, Cincerillo 12th. Oldenburg 13th. Aldridge and Peters round out the top 15.
I'd say this would put a smile on Mike LaRocco's face. That's very hard to do at times.
Amazing.
And it might not because they're not leading, but he's got to be happy with how this young, youthful team are getting great results week in, week out. Like I said, either right by the podium or just off. Most of these guys at least healthy. We saw Hampshire able to ride back. Looked like nothing too serious. I think just a really twisted motorcycle.
Yeah, I think he was not twisted himself. That's the good news. Craig takes a look over his shoulder, and he sees his teammate Smith right behind him. And, hey, how about this? We got 2 Geico Hondas battling. We're halfway through the moto, and in 15 minutes, you can save 50% of your insurance, and these guys might need it. The way they're doing it, woo! Almost came together on the launch of that tunnel jump.
Man, that's when you're young and brave, man. He just went for that, and then a little panic rev as he wheel spun off the lip of that really big roller jump. Jeremy Martin siding. He's coming up now.
Well, he got Nelson on the 28. Lucas Oil Troy Lee KTM has been pushed back a spot. So Martin on this number 1. Yamaluke Star Yamaha. That's 1 more point. Each pass he makes back here is key. Martin.
Very key.
And now Martin is caught. He's right in this fight. He's caught Bisceglia. Quick pass for him. So the champ going to work. And again, when you're outside the top 5, every pass is worth just 1 championship point. Once you get in the top 5, then it's 2 points between each position. And he's starting to close on those spots. So Martin around Bisceglia. He is 7th. Christian Craig up ahead of him in 6th. Martin not making his life easy for himself today with the bad starts. Jesse Nelson, hey, pretty cool thing the Lucas Oil folks had last night, a pizza party at the track for the kids, and the riders, Nelson, McElrath, and Oldenburg, helped out. I don't know if they made the pizza, but they helped serve it. And as soon as I found out that the family could get free food for the kids, that's right, I brought Lane out and the rest of the crew. I'm not passing up a free meal. That's my daughter there. She enjoys it. So really cool what Lucas Oil does. This is a VIP section on Saturday afternoon to watch the races from. And Friday night is family night with the riders on hand. Riders get to meet their favorites, get some autographs, pizza, popcorn, slushies. But hey, we're down to the serious business of racing here on a Saturday afternoon. Marvin Musquin continues to lead here at the UPMC Sports Medicine High Point National. Could be a huge day for the Frenchman, not only looking to win the race, but retake the series points lead from Jeremy Martin. This track was actually laid out by a bunch of German riders back in the mid-'70s. They were on a tour of the United States throughout the fall, and they were looking for a place to ride. There was a different track layout. They came in and put down sticks and stones. No, it didn't break their bones. It actually allowed them to mark where they thought the track should go. So ever since then, it's been considered to have a European-type layout. And through the years, European riders, such as Marvin Musquin, going back to David Villemin's days in the early part of this decade, have had a lot of great success at this track. Musquin, on what is supposed to be a very difficult course, has been aces all day long. And a good ride also for Zach Osborne here in second. So there's Osborne, second place spot. A little bit closer to Musquin before. Show you the motorsport.com whole shot replay. Osborne was the leader early.
Yeah, we saw the first angle from behind, but Osborne, watch him, doesn't get to the first turn first, but hugs that inside, takes a shorter way around. See the shorter way around works out, and able to get that motorsport.com whole shot, or barely, see there, Bisceglia, probably, let's see, about a wheel length, a little bit more, 3/4 of bike length. But Osborne making his life a lot easier when you start from out front. Got passed by Musquin, but still sitting in a pretty comfortable position right now.
Yeah, this would match his season best. Osborne had a second 2 weeks ago in Colorado. Joey Savacci's in third. Savacci had a second in a moto earlier in the year, or sorry, a third. So this would actually match Savacci's best as well. He did that at Glen Helen round 2. We go back behind them. Alex Martin just came through. Jeremy Martin now. So we will have more Martin on Martin crime as the two brothers fight for championship points in the case of Jeremy, but Alex wants to finish on the overall podium today. So do not think for 1 second that Alex is going to try to help his brother as far as the championship is concerned.
He's not going to roll over on that one, but he's not going to do anything dirty.
Georgia, how about this? The Martins hooking up in both motos today.
Oh my goodness, Jeremy Martin was bare on last. He actually hit someone on that first turn. He hit the back of them, got stuck, so that's why he was so far back in the pack. But then Alex Martin, after the first moto, he goes, I know it's my brother, but I do not want him passing me. And I'm sure, like you said, he wants to get that overall. And we don't have too much time left. So what do you think, guys? Do you think Jeremy's going to take him?
Well, he's caught him, but I think, if my math is correct, this could change everything. It could actually bump one of them from third overall to fifth with Savacci in the mix as well. So Alex is going to give it everything he has to hold off his younger, championship-proven brother.
And you got to imagine for Alex, he's got to be a little bit tired of hearing about his baby brother. But look at this. Round the outside, does that double. He's got more momentum up the hill. This is his other favorite spot, round the outside.
And Alex going to try to hold it.
Nope.
Jeremy gets the wheels out in front. Now this section very difficult. They wheelie through the ruts, but Jeremy has made the pass on Alex. So that is for fourth. Should put Jeremy in a podium position, and brother is going to get bumped off of it. Sorry about your luck. But Alex, still such an improvement this year over previous seasons. He went from a top 10 guy to a guaranteed top 5, I'd say, almost every moto when he has good luck, and a borderline podium guy each time out on the Cycle Trader Rock River Yamaha.
But both motos we've seen, Jeremy's got just a little extra pace over his brother, but with the bad starts, they end up finding themselves deep in the motos, battling together. But cool to see both the brothers having, you know, well, I guess for Jeremy this wouldn't be considered a good day, but for Alex, nice rebound after some of that horrendous luck he seemed to have in the previous motos.
Yeah, had bike problems early in both races in Colorado, and then first turn crashes in both races last week in Tennessee. So a good little bounce back for him.
He does everything in pairs. He even races his brother in both motos the next week. So it's 2 mechanicals, 2 first turn crashes, and then 2 battles with your brother. So
yeah, don't even bother asking him, did this happen in the first moto or the second? Because it's both each time. Now Jeremy's next victim would be Joey Savacci, but here's the problem. Savacci is 14 seconds ahead of him. It is going to be awfully tough for him to make up that kind of ground. Then behind the Martins is this rider, Jordan Smith, who's the rookie, originally out of North Carolina, but he does most of his riding at that Florida-Georgia state line. No, not the band, but that's kind of a motocross hotspot, Cairo, Georgia, at the Millsaps training facility. How about Christian Craig not letting Smith go? They have been close for probably the last 15 minutes of this race. Smith made that very daring pass on Craig, but Craig has hung with him.
Good ride from Christian Craig. Even with, if you look at it, we're 25 minutes into this moto, and he still looks pretty solid right there. Not fading at all. But this is a time where you got to dig deep, take a deep breath, try and relax, find some smoother lines. Even if they're not faster, just find smoother lines so you're not forcing yourself into more mistakes and tiring yourself out.
And Craig, we've mentioned it several times, out of retirement, and he is looking at this as an audition to try to have a full-time career again in motocross. Had about half of a year off technically, but when he came back and raced with us last summer, that was really just for fun. Really a year and a half since he's been training and trying to do this full time. Quite a comeback here. Hey, those are the trophies are on the line. Yes, sign jousting here at High Point. Muscan wants that one. 15th at 9 Eastern on Golf Channel. Marvin Muscan taking a very rough racetrack and making it resemble a golf course. It looks perfectly smooth for him as he rolls his way through the hills of High Point Raceway here, about an hour south of Pittsburgh. Now, 2 years ago, he won the second Moto. It was his first Moto win in the United States. He'd actually won a couple of the overalls without winning a Moto, but he held off Ken Roxon, who was his teammate at the time, straight up, which is certainly not easy to do. So it really showed just how proficient he is at this track. He had to have this one circled on the calendar as a race he was looking forward to.
And a must win.
And a must win.
Yeah.
I was going to say, does that add a little bit of pressure? He knows the tracks that are good for him, he's got to maximize the point score, and he's doing it. You look at points, 2 Moto wins will equal 50. He's got 25 per. But does it add a little pressure when you're like, this is the race I have to get for the series?
When you're right at this level, you have to be able to deal with pressure at all times. So I think it's more of a confidence booster coming and going when you circle a track.
So Jeremy Martin had his issues here. Series leader, former series leader now in 4th. Oh no, that's Daniel Baker, sorry, who went down. And then Muscan.
Happened right in front of him. Didn't have much time to react to that. Plus, it's kind of just around that little blind bend.
Yeah.
But Marvin reacted quickly, hopped out of that rut, got onto the next one.
Tough break for Baker, who is just breaking into the pro ranks. Going down there, and now a lap down. Here is Marvin again, top of the facility, works his way down. And, you know, we had a lot of talk of rain earlier in the day with practice and a few drops here and there in the early races, but now it's downright sunny. And I've got to think the track getting better.
It is getting better, but we even heard Georgia talk about it earlier. It just means that these ruts start hardening up. So it starts grabbing the wheels and tires. So tire selection would have been pretty important, I would have thought, because these guys are in between. You know, do you need a tire that can clean out the mud easily, or do you need something that's got a good base, like a harder pack tire for this right there, that shiny, dusty stuff, where it, you know, different compounds work better in different areas. And this track has got a lot of elements. How about Plessinger? Quietly in the top 10 there.
Behind McElrath, there's Plessinger on the Yamalube Star Racing Yamaha. Opened some eyes last week, all shot the second Moto and led it for 7 laps. Not quite the start here today, but man, I saw him after that Moto. He was nothing but teeth and sunglasses. That guy had a mile-wide grin. Just the experience of leading one of these races. He is also a rookie in his first professional season. And I said, man, I want to go out there and do it again. But as you mentioned earlier in this Moto, especially in the 250s, the start is so huge. These guys are young. They'll go for it if they get the opportunity. They'll run whatever pace they need to if they get the early lead.
Checkers or wreckers.
Yeah. McElrath right in front of him. McElrath had a podium Moto earlier in the year, so the same type of thing. Any one of these guys at any given moment can jump up there in the top 3 if things fall their way. Shannon at North Carolina rode here a bit through the amateur ranks, and that's one of the cool things, really unique to this sport. We'll have amateur racing here all day tomorrow. I don't know what other motorsport has a situation like that, where the best riders in the nation or in the world come out and compete, and the very next day, you own a dirt bike, coming out and racing the same track as them, then the same weekend. And for these kids, it's a great opportunity to learn these tracks and see what it's all about. And McElrath has now reached the very highest levels. Hey, haven't talked much about Joey Savacci. A quiet ride, but a third-place ride is always a good one. Uh-oh. Can he hang on to third? I mentioned the 14 seconds that Jeremy Martin was going to have to make up to catch Savacci.
He is coming. Problem is, time is against him right now. They are approaching the white flag, and I know Savacci does not want to surrender that position. He will fight tooth and nail, and Martin's going to do the same thing. He does not want to miss out on any possible extra points in this opportunity. He can see Savacci up ahead, but I got a feeling without a mistake from Savacci, white flag will be waved right now. You know, Jeremy Martin being in shape is going, man, I wish his Moto was a little bit longer because I would have a chance.
Mitch Payton, the owner of Pro Circuit, which is what Team Savacci rides for, Is he happy if his guys get caught and passed for a podium in the last 2 laps?
I
Be happy
doubt
about that? No. So Savacci knows what he's got to do. Keep that number 1 behind you. Cianciarulo, by the way, so spectacular in the first moto today. Second, running in 12th right now, so not able to get it going after the bad start. Martin was able to come through. Cianciarulo was not. Maybe he had an issue that we didn't see. But Marvin Musquin, we mentioned perfect today. At the moment, will gain 14 points today on Jeremy Martin. He was down by 6 coming into the racing. So if it ends like this one, an 8-point lead.
I was about to say, the most important thing in Marvin's eyes was he came, he won, and he's got that points lead. And not only did he win, because if, say, Jeremy went 2-2 today, Martin would still be leading the points by 1. But this clearly gives Marvin Musquin the points lead. You know that's going to put a big smile on his face. And he's earned it today. Very, very clinical performance. And it's just weird, Jason. We've seen it's either been Marvin or Jeremy.
Yep.
And when one has a good day, the other one, not quite there. In fact, we've hardly even seen these guys battle on the track yet. When you look at results, you would think they were battling every weekend.
Yeah.
But it'll come. We're still early in the season. Remember, a lot of racing to go. More than half the season. We're still in the first half.
Yeah, this is round 5 of 12. By the way, I can't even imagine the work that's going to go down on the Carmichael farm with the Martin brothers. We have an off weekend. I don't think they'll be taking time off. Johnny O'Mara, the trainer for Jeremy Martin, they'll be back strong because they've got to figure out a way to answer back. Marvin Musquin, who goes 1-1 at High Point.
There's his mechanic, Frankie, fist pumping. But look at this, Savacci does hold it. So Osborne gets a stellar second place. Savacci third, Jeremy Martin under that helmet. He's got to be frustrated. But you take what you can get. So Frankie and the Frenchie, what a combination they had. Good job to these two guys. Look at him, ecstatic right there.
Second career win here for Musquin at this track. We mentioned the victory in 2013. That was a real breakthrough for him. Last year, unfortunately, was injured, not up to speed. But boy, is he ever back up to it early in 2015. He'll leave here as your points leader. You mentioned the great run for Osborne in second. And Georgia is already there to talk to our race winner.
Yes, just getting a wipe down, I'm sure, by his beautiful wife, Mathilde. What is the first thing that Mathilde says to you when she sees you after you've done and taken an overall?
Well, she's like, yeah, you did it. We did it. Because it's a team. It's everyone at Red Bull KTM, but Mathilde, Frankie, Nate, my practice mechanic, thank you for everything he does for me. I mean, more than the mechanic, actually. So thank you. All my sponsors, I have great sponsors, as you can see on me. So it feels good to go 1-1 again. I mean, I was having trouble with my hand during the week, and right now it's okay on race day. So it feels good. I love that track. I mean, it's really technical, and the bike was working really good. So I can't complain. Thank you to all my fans and friends. They're able to watch it live, so that's pretty cool. So thank you to everybody, my family, my friends. So it's good to win again.
You definitely do well at this track. It's definitely a Marvin Musquin track, but just one more question. Now you've got the points in the championship. How does that feel? Does it make you feel kind of more relaxed?
Yes and no. I mean, there's so many races left right now, so I don't think about the championship really. I just want to win races and do good every weekend, and then we'll see what's gonna happen. I'm having a lot of fun. For my very last year on that 250, I have a great bike. I never had a bike like that good, so thank you to the team. Now we got a weekend off. That's gonna be feel good.
Huge congratulations. Well done, Marvin Musquin with the overall here at High Point.
He's already locked into the 450 class next year at KTM. Here he's taking the lead with Zach Osborne, and from there would not be headed. And by the way, I said, hey, you were a free agent going to the 450s. Did you consider racing for any other teams next year? He said, nope, I'm racing for KTM. Back here at High Point, we'll show you the Lucas Oil race recap here for our final 250 moto of the day. Zach Osborne gets the motorsport.com hole shot on that Rockstar Husqvarna. Little mistake here, barely gets over the top of that triple jump. That allows Marvin Musquin to get inside, take the lead, and take off. Osborne, though, held on strong to finish second. And then behind me at a battle of the Martins, Joey Savacci was third. Alex and Jeremy Martin fighting for fourth. Jeremy around the outside, able to take over that position. Valuable championship points there. So the younger brother beating the older one in this one. Muscan, like we said, cruising to victory. We just talked to him before the break. He's definitely happy and also retakes the series points lead. Osborne second in this Moto. Savachi, we mentioned, in third. Jordan Smith, good run to finish sixth. Craig Nelson, McElrath, Plessinger in the top 10. Let's send it back to Georgia.
Yes, Zach Osborne, second overall here at High Point. Let's start off with the fact that you have been over in Colorado training with Eli. He got hurt, but his dad still came out to support you. Do you think things have changed a lot in the last few weeks since you've been there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm so blessed to have the opportunity to spend time with those guys. They're so knowledgeable, and John's really helped me a lot with my bike setup, and Eli's been out there on the pit board along with my practice mechanic Tanner, and we just work hard, and it's paying off. I struggled a little bit at the end of the first moto, and we made some changes in the second moto, much better. And I felt great today. I love this track. I didn't really have good speed in practice, but seemed to make up for it today. I have to thank the Lord for keeping me safe. And my Rockstar Energy Husqvarna team have been really supportive. You know, I started the season off rough, and we're turning around slowly but surely.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. Well done, Zach Osborne, second overall.
Some real dedication there. Moved his wife and their new baby out to Colorado as well to train this summer in altitude. Muscan, as we theorized, would have an 8-point lead over Martin. Our math was correct. Nelson and Cincerillo still third and fourth. Savachi is fifth in points. Let's send it back to Georgia.
Yes, now, of course, there was a lot of brotherly love, but brotherly battling in that one. Jeremy, you had well, let's just say the start was not great. You got stuck behind someone. You ended up pretty much last. You came all the way through the pack, and you did battle with your brother. I mean, how does that feel emotionally? Like, what do you go through when you're thinking, he's in front of me, I've got to go for it?
Yeah, you know, like racing with Alex was good. You know, I think that's one of the few times we've ever gotten a chance to really link up and battle like that. I'm proud of him. I love him and everything like that. So it was good to see him up front after such a rough weekend last weekend with being down in the first turn both motos. But you know, I had to show him who's boss. So it was fun today. I really enjoyed it, and got some really rough starts, but you know, we'll rebound. We got a little break. We'll hammer, and I just can't thank the Star Racing team enough. Yamaha, Dunlop, Yamalube, Rockstar, Answer Bell, 100%, FMF, Mickey Thompson Tires, my mechanic Pedro. You know, just everyone that's there helping me during the week. Ricky and my mechanic, practice bike mechanic Chad. Thank you.
Congratulations, well done, Jeremy.
And you see in the overall, salt on the wounds, Jeremy also edging Alex off of the overall podium as well. Savaji, a solid day, comes up just short of the podium, fifth overall. Osborne second. Here's Joey Savachi with Georgia.
Yes, Joey Savachi, third overall in that moto. I'm pretty impressed. I spoke to you earlier this morning. You're like, I know I've got the speed to run with those guys. Did you just push to a different level today? And what are you going to be thinking for training next week?
Yeah, like you said, it's just, I know I have the speed. We qualify up there every weekend. I'm working hard down at the farm with Jeannie and Ricky Carmichael. And my trainer, Clint, and my family sticks behind me no matter what. So been dealing with some issues off the bike. But finally got a week of riding in this week, and struggled that first moto, but to be able to rebound for that second moto and end up on the boxes, it's always a positive way to end the weekend. But my Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki got me out to a great start. Dunlop tires, KMC wheels, Specialized, Thor, Parts Unlimited, Bell Helmet, Scott Goggles, Alpine Star, just everybody. Like I said, I can't thank them enough. I take that back. I can't thank them enough because they do a lot for me. So
that's always something they make a mistake with, but congratulations. Well done, Joey, third in that moto.
He and Cincerillo have got that part figured out. Okay, we are going to transition to our 450 class here at High Point while our top 250 riders are about to celebrate.